Hooks do way more than just catch our attention. Catching attention isn't necessarily a good thing. There are a lot of things that catch our attention for the wrong reasons. And so, actually, if we are creating hooks that are simply there to get the reader to sentence 2 or sentence 3, they tend to fall apart. I actually don't think they're all that engaging. Maybe I'm wrong, but whenever I see a hook along the lines of, here are 5 things, I immediately click on something else. That does not hook me in. Lists don't hook me in, numbers don't hook me in, right? All of that information that is in hook templates, I think, at least for me, doesn't work. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural. And it took me a little bit of time to think about why that is. And this is why I think that's true. Hooks do 2 things, and it doesn't matter for me what the genre is, it doesn't matter anything like that. They still do 2 things. A hook disrupts, that's thing number 1, and invites, that's thing number 2. So this is what I mean. A hook is there to disrupt the reader. All right, so if it is an opening hook, so the first part of a story or an essay or whatever it is, if that is an opening hook, it is disrupting the reader's world right then. That's all we have to work with, right? That's their first experience. So there are different ways that we can do this, right? One thing is to focus on a knowledge gap. That's actually a way of disrupting the reader, showing them that they actually don't know something that they need to know. So that's the knowledge gap version. Another one is a context disruption. Now, what I mean by that is whenever you dive into a narrative and the first paragraph isn't context, it is a scene. So we often talk about this as in medias res. So essentially, you dive into the action. So that's actually disruptive because we don't have context. We don't have an overarching bird's eye view. So that is actually a form of disruption. So that's the short-term goal of a hook. However, there's also a long-term goal, and that is to invite. So a hook is based off of the premise that if we disrupt the reader initially, if we throw them something that just eats at them, that eventually that reader can look past that disruption and can be invited into a new world. So this is how a hook sets the stage for transformation. Without doing those 2 things, disrupting and inviting, I don't think a hook can have an overall transformative effect on the reader and on the characters in that world if it is a narrative.